on, guys? This is the Commissioner Ron J. Jones, and we are back for another episode here. Got some friends here with me today, some other flunkies. We got about more than a third of the flunkies here today, and I'm really excited to have them here. We actually got the former champ in the building from last year. We got Aaron Morris here of Big Bird Ballers. We got second year guy Javaughn Hanna of Capital City Go Go the Church. That's a long name. We got Sterling McKee here of She Fanatics, formerly known as Black Air Forces. We got Keshawn Simpson here of the Alpha Land Knicks. We got Jake Rouse, another second year guy. I still forget your name.
Grown Hugs and Larceny.
That's such a funny name. I don't know if I'll ever fully remember that.
I'll never forget it.
It just sounds good hearing it. And last but not least, of course, we got Chris Halger, who was here on our first episode here, known as the Black Panthers. So, guys, we just had our draft, and it's been very, 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 very eventful. Past couple hours here in the Flunky studio, and just kind of with you all being around. Aaron, give me some of your thoughts on everything that's kind of gone on today.
It was a real interesting draft. I think all of us came in thinking that Tuck was going to take Anthony Davis, and then when he didn't, everybody's game plan kind of had to change up a little bit. We weren't really sure how those first two picks are going to go, but they were relatively normal, solid picks, so it set a different kind of tone for the draft or whatever. But, it was pretty long. I'm not going to lie. That was a long draft. I was ready to finish up.
For sure. Anyone else want to pitch their thoughts in on everything that's kind of gone on today? And we're going to get into specifics for sure, but just want to get some introductory thoughts on kind of what you thought about today overall.
Honestly, the first 5 or 6 picks did not go like we stated earlier, it didn't go the way I thought, man. Chris taking James Harden with his pick, that shocked me, considering the turmoil that's around James Harden right now. That literally threw me for a loop. So it was very interesting, to say this.
I'll say that, the first 5 picks definitely set the tone for what I would describe as an unorthodox draft. Seeing Tuck grab Giannis over AD, which normally is the norm, but seeing him not pick AD, who is a person who's been on his team for a while, and then especially seeing Chris take Harden was bizarre. I didn't think he would trust that situation. But, just acknowledging the possible sleepers in the draft and stuff like that is an interesting feat.
Yeah,
Honestly,
for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, the draft definitely threw me through a loop. I expected Giannis to go first, and I also expected Doncic to go second. So that wasn't a surprise. Not going to lie, going into the draft, I didn't know who I wanted as my pick. I really didn't. But even that being the case, you don't bet against James Harden. That's all I got to say. You don't bet against James Harden. Don't matter what team he is. He's been putting up these types of numbers for the past 3-4 seasons now. It don't matter where he is. He's going to keep doing what he does best. So, yeah.
Dude, the strippers don't bet against him.
Yeah, very, 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 very interesting thing with you picking James Harden. And actually, now that's a really good segue into some breaking news that we had that Chris actually just told us right before we went live, was that the Miami Heat have interest in trading for James Harden, and that a great player like Tyler Hero is not off the charts for being traded. So it's possible he could be finding a new home. It's possible that James Harden could be finding a new home, and kind of with the assets, number one, the talent, and I guess the financial money that the Heat have, they would probably be in a pretty good running seat. And then obviously we've heard some controversy with Jimmy Butler. I think he had liked a Instagram post. Is
Yeah,
that right?
from what I heard.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think he'll have a home in
Allow
Miami?
me to spearhead this one. So, when I look at a possibility of Hero being traded to the Rockets with James Harden coming to the Heat, not many people are going to look at it like this. I view it a big time win for uh for Tyler Hero in this aspect because Hero gets to go play with John Wall, a point guard who loves to facilitate the ball and find people to knock shots down. Boogie showed that he played well, so things working with them, the old Kentucky uh, connection is working out. And then Tyler Hero playing off the ball, which he is elite at doing, can see himself kind of raise into stardom, kind of get a early version of how Devin Booker kind of blossomed out there in Phoenix. So that could raise his ceiling a lot higher. James Harden could definitely add detriment to the Miami Heat. He could be beneficial with his scoring, but with his play style currently, that play style going on in an Eric Spoelstra ran offense, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. You're going to learn to play off the ball. You have Jimmy Butler there. You have Bam Adebayo there. You have Duncan Robinson there, hopefully still. Like, it depends on who you got around him because you're going to have to give up something to go get Harden. And Hero and Robinson are looking probably like the two most dynamic pieces to give up.
I mean, that's my question. Who are they going to give up for Harden? I mean, I guess Hero, but that can't be it. He's on his rookie deal.
True.
And Robinson, too, you're going to give away your best two shooters for Hart? I mean, I guess, but there needs to be more. The only thing that would make sense, for my opinion, would be something with Jimmy Butler, just because of his contract.
But I doubt they're going to move him. I mean, like, he loves
Exactly.
it there, and he just, drugged them all the way to the finals, only to lose, what, in 6?
Yeah. I think it would have to be like Harrow, maybe Adebayo too.
I mean, that's
It's
if
a
you're
tough
trying to
one.
open up the market to still try and get Giannis, if you're going to let go of Bam, and that's still doubtfully possible.
Not getting Giannis. You can't. It's just not going to work.
I just think the Rockets' asking price is way too high, man. Like the Rockets' asking price for James Harden is way too high.
I mean,
The man's
I
the
mean,
man's due over.
He's
Harden.
he's a former NBA MVP, for sure, an All NBA player. He's averaged 30 plus points per game the past 3, almost 4 years, I guess. So
Right.
it's he's worth it. He's worth it. He's also been carrying the Rockets to the playoffs for years. Like when we talk about players who have consistently carried their team, like when the Warriors were making their run, James Harden was playing with bad knee Ryan Anderson, Louis Scola, on my way out the league Dwight Howard, and Pitbull Patrick Beverly. So like he was for sure been carrying teams for the past like 6 years. Now his talent has gotten better just about every year, but like what he's been able to do as a player, in my opinion, he's worth it. Now, personally, do I agree with it? As a Sixers fan, his price is way too high, but he kind of commands that at the same time. Now, what that means for our fantasy league, he would probably still put up some very decent numbers because of the kind of player that he is. As their winning culture, though, I don't think it would be all that great. But I figured we would open up with that news. A couple things I want to cover here real quick before we move any further. Shout out Jake for the Phillies jersey on. Not Phillies, but Sixers jersey on. Philadelphia 76ers, of course. We got Chris here with the Lower Marion shout out Kobe Bryant. And behind Jake's head, you can barely see it, but we actually have a Kobe Bryant pillow there. We got an MJ poster there. Got some Air Maxes sitting behind him. And actually behind Keshawn's head, we actually have a Dream Lifestyle hoodie. Shouts out to Sam Brown for faith and effort. Amazing brand, lifestyle, all of that. Absolutely amazing. Shout out Javaughn for that background that he's got going on here. And
Sir.
yeah, some people have said you've had a very meager drafting day, and we're gonna get to that.
I don't know how, man. I don't know how.
We're gonna get to that, but of course,
Look,
shout out
man.
to you in that football team
I'm just here, me.
hat,
You know,
man.
man, Thanos. We just chilling, dog. You know, got up the city too.
Shout out the Washington football team.
Glory.
All right, we're gonna. Oh, and also shout out to me. You can't see it, but shout out Dunder Mifflin, man. Gotta always shout them out one time. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we had Giannis go first, picked by Tucker Toole. Shouts out to him for the #1 pick. Otherwise known as my league now. Hopefully to get him on here very soon. We also had Malik, otherwise known as Popeye's leg and thigh. You know, got that Popeye's business money. He had picked Luka Doncic second. I think those first two picks were no surprises. And then Chris, of who we have here on the stream today, he picked James Harden. In the midst of everything that's going on right now, could you like explain why you decided to go with James Harden, Chris?
Yeah, so taking into account this is the shortest off season of NBA history, you got to take into consideration who has a major injury history, who all has the potential to be sat, you know, who's going to be missing games this year. So, you know, you want to make sure that when you have something as high as a third pick, that you're getting somebody that's going to have high production and literally has like low potential to fail in doing that. So like I said, like going into the draft, I didn't really have like a concrete idea of who I really wanted to pick. The ones that were on my top three were James Harden, LeBron, and Steph. But of course, with LeBron and Steph, you know, LeBron's up there in age. You know, the Lakers are probably going to want to sit him for a few games, you know, making sure that they're maintaining his health as well as they possibly can. And Steph, you know, coming off the injuries and everything like that, you know, again, you don't bet against Steph, but, you know, still the same thing. And I think with James Harden going into a potentially different system, you know, he has a high opportunity to still get that high output that, you know, he's been doing for these past 3-4 years. So you don't bet against James Harden, you don't bet against Steph, but I'm going with James Harden.
And so let me comment, because funny enough, I actually had the next pick, and you know, I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. Everybody knows it. It's no
Loyal
secret.
to the soil.
Yeah, loyal to the soil. I've drafted him every single year we've been in business here, and for me it was just about drafting one of the best players, one of the best shooters we've ever seen, and I think with the kind of team he has around him, I think he's for sure poised to have a great season. You know, pending if he stays healthy.
Especially without Clay.
Yeah, that's a sad.
Unfortunately. Of course,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
shouts out to Klay Thompson, man. You know, we're sending up nothing but love and prayers. You know, we understand that he's going to get back and be better than ever, of course. But, you know, and we get to the number 5th pick, and that was Sam, right?
Yes, sir.
Sam Hood.
Who did he pick again?
Yeah, the man who ruined my draft. That was Damian Lillard at number 5.
Damian Lillard at number 5. So I love that pick. Personally, I didn't think he was going to be picked over Anthony Davis, or Kevin Durant,
Or LeBron.
You know what? I could see LeBron. I could see LeBron
Really?
for sure. I could see LeBron. Oh yeah, what he's going into his 17th, 18th
LeBron's
season.
18th.
Yeah, 18th season.
year. Shouts out to LeBron James for that, man. That's hey, look,
Go
and
James.
bro, and look, and he look. I gotta play this for him one time, bro. 'Cause we all know how he's coming every year trying to win championships, bro.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Bro, he's starving every single year, man. Starving every single year. But shouts out to him. But Damian Lillard, you know, you could really make an argument that he's the best point guard in the year, in the league right now. You got players like Steph coming back off of injury. You got, Steph Curry coming off of injury, of course, Kyrie Irving. We'll see what happens with Kemba Walker, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, of course, Luka Doncic. I guess are we classifying him as a point guard?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
For sure.
ESPN classified.
Yeah.
him as.
Wait, what does fantasy say?
Lord.
Yeah. What does fantasy say? It says point guard. Well, we're going point
Point
guard.
guard.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
not.
Whatever fantasy says, man.
Remember last year he was all three: point guard, shooting guard, small forward.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Lethal.
and he was godly, bro.
Toxic.
Godly, bro. I was so glad to have him on my team though. But yeah, he was for sure very, very much godly. And then we had, so that's number 5. Number 6,
Sterling.
Sterling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you picked,
Man,
actually,
Jokic.
you picked Nikola Jokic.
Yes, sir.
So by this point, Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant still haven't been picked up. Can you actually like go like what was your reasoning for picking Jokic over guys like those two?
Well, I had Jokic last season, and at the start of it, it was kind of a hit or miss with him. You know, he was kind of like inconsistent a lot, and there were struggles with his weight and things of that nature. But seeing how he transformed his body during the NBA hiatus and how he kind of cut down the weight, and he just looked more efficient to me. And honestly, I didn't take Kevin Durant because there were reports that Steve Nash does plan on sitting him more. And Anthony Davis still probably the same thing. He's probably going to sit. So for me, the safe pick was Jokic. Like a young team, they just fell short against the NBA Finals last year. So I'm thinking they're going to come back hungrier than ever. So they're going to play. So that's why I went with Jokic.
For sure. Those are great reasonings, in my opinion, because like Jokic always has that period where he's just kind of got to get back into the swing of things. So it's kind of like I guess when you draft him, you already know that going in. But I mean, your reasonings were great. Again, I was just surprised that he went that high. And then we had number 7.
Right here with it. I took AD.
Took AD.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Durant over Kevin Durant.
Reason being, yeah. So first off, the reports with with KD, possibly sitting, especially dealing with the situation in Brooklyn. I sat here and I was like, that's a red flag. You don't want to see someone like KD sitting around from time to time, and we don't know how many games he's going to sit, especially coming off that injury that had him sidelined for the whole season last year. We don't know what form he's going to come back in, but he is Kevin Durant. I'm not going to doubt the dude who's just been 6'10", smacking around everybody in the league. So, but when I took Anthony Davis, my first pick was going to be Dame because I was projecting that Dame was going to drop down to me because I was going to grab him, especially after seeing what he did last night against the Kings, playing real well. But taking AD for me was almost a no-brainer because LeBron, he's going to have his games where he's going to sit. And if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, there's no way in hell that I am sitting here and going to have both of my stars sitting a game when we're trying to go back-to-back. And also we're trying to make sure that we secure a good seed in the West. There's going to be teams that, not they're trying to look to avoid, but there's going to be some teams that they want to make sure they have a leg up against because as we saw with the Clippers last year dealing with Denver's no joke. Denver will really come through and smack you around. They got better with putting the ball in the basket in the offseason, adding good scores. Defensively, they let a good deal of defenders go, which surprised me. But, with the addition of Trez and Schroeder, I don't see why AD can't thrive a little bit. He'll have some more people to pass the ball to. And really, I said this last year, Bron's never played with a teammate who can literally command respect from the interior where Bron just has to sit there and say, hey, once the ball gets dumped down, he's the captain of the ship. So AD's going to make his decisions and do what the hell he want to do as soon as that interior comes around. And he can knock down the shot, as we saw in Game 2, right in Mason Plumlee's eye. So...
yeah, so that makes sense. And so we're gonna shift over to my other side, and so Kevin Durant fell to you.
Yes, sir.
And so it's funny because
Yes, sir.
over this past week or two that we've really been getting this podcast ramped up and everything. You've for sure made it. Well, really since the summertime, you've made it a note that you wanted Kevin Durant, and somehow, some way, he fell to you.
Thank goodness. I had a good feeling about it all day. Something was just telling me he's going to fall to 8. I'm so glad he did. Got my guy. I don't care about no reports about him. I didn't even hear this report that he's going to sit a little bit from Steve Nash's decision. I don't care. He's Kevin Durant. Enough said.
That's good enough reason.
7-foot guard. Just want that to be known. Okay, and so and I'm curious to see how he. Obviously, everyone's curious to see how he's gonna play. A, with Kyrie, and then B, coming out of injury. But great, he fell to you. I'm excited. It's always so good to see players coming back. And I hope he comes back and continues playing at the level that he was at.
Like I told you in the summer, Ron, he doesn't even have to run up and down the court. You can put him in the corner.
Let him splash something.
Boom. He could get you 20 points standing still in the corner.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's looking likely. But we're gonna move on to pick number 9. That was Mike. In my opinion, the most valuable pick in the entire draft, because you sit smack in the middle. Everything revolves back and forth to you, and I think he had a great draft. This I don't even remember
his first pick was controversial.
Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony.
Hey,
Cat.
that dude is coming off a lot just dealing with the year, and I'm not even talking about basketball. Basketball, he played well.
Much love to him. Much love
condolences, man.
and respect to Carl Anthony Towns and him just wanting, if he is gonna play this season, that's a lot to deal with. This is
7 people,
and much love and respect to y'all. This has been a year where it's been a lot in a lot of different ways for a lot of people. So, love Carl Anthony Towns. He had a great year last year, of which I was surprised by. He's probably, is it safe to say he's the best shooting big man in our league?
Yeah. Easily. Easily.
Nope.
I would say Jokic.
Nope.
Jokic?
No, in terms of pure shooting ability, I'm going to go with Cat.
Cat's just a better shooter.
Jokic is a better facilitator, but Cat is by far the better shooter. It's not even close. Hey, Mike, if you're watching this, come holler at me. I take Cat every year. We need to sit down and just have a talk, all right?
Yeah. So, Chris, why do you say Jokic?
Jokic is extremely efficient. Like, it doesn't matter where he is on the court. He's like one of the most efficient centers that you can possibly get. It doesn't matter if it's a 3 or a mid-range or even if it's down low. He's going to make his shots. And on top of that, he only gets better as the season goes on. Like, I saw an article about it earlier. This man does not, like, he misses, but he don't be missing like that, bro. Unless you're really talking like 3s or whatever the case. Like, if you're talking about that for Cat, sure. But Jokic is extremely efficient, which is why I would say him.
So, in y'all opinion, who do y'all feel fantasy-wise is better to have on your team if you're going to have a big man, Jokic or Cat?
I'm going to say Jokic for a simple fact because that man is literally a walking triple-double.
We're talking long-term, like just in general, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Jokic. Because with Carlos Towns, you have a lot more health concerns. Like this man gets injured a lot.
I'm gonna point out this when
Pat's only been injured once.
That's true. That's true. Only been injured
He's
once.
only been injured once.
Like he still gets bruised here and there. Like Jokic doesn't really get like.
And I guess my thing with Jokic is like he always starts off slow. Like that man consistently never comes into camp in shape, and he always like the first 2 months he just takes off. So like.
That's
if
true.
you're full of that, then yeah, Jokes the choice. But like, if you want to go for the whole season, I feel like Cat's your better option.
Mm-hmm.
With me, Cat
True.
is.
I get that. That's understandable.
With me, Cat is personally, as far if you're looking for scoring, like Jokic, he shoot the 3 ball, but Cat has that thing as like a daily weapon, like as that. And then the only downside to me with Cat, like you might get double doubles, but you won't always get them all the time. Cat's not like, he's not a big bully when it comes to rebounds. Like most bigs, but Cat when it comes to scoring, hey Aaron, I know that. Look, listen. You had him last year, so you might know better. But when I see Cat, I see a boatload of 20-point games. Like I don't doubt Cat when it comes to scoring. He's gonna get buckets regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
When I look at Jokic, I see a lot more rebounds and assists, just because like that's what he does. His point totals are sketchy though. Like he'll have one game 17, the next game 20, and that might only give you 11 the next game when it comes to scoring.
If we're talking pure big men,
but I also think in the new scoring system, Jokic is going to be more valuable than Carl.
Yeah. Does anybody know?
But you know what? Go ahead.
Does anybody know what Cat's like? What his efficiency numbers were looking like? Like his percentages? I just saw that Jokic was 50% from the field and 80% from free throw.
Cat is also 80% from the free throw, 50% from the field, and 40% from three.
Okay.
Which is elite for a big. 40% for a big.
That's elite, and I guess that's gonna be something that I'm gonna monitor, especially when it comes to big men. And so we're actually gonna keep moving forward.
But yeah,
you had something.
I want to include somebody else in this conversation because it's kind of just between Jokic and Cat. Joel Embiid, from the shooting and being a pure all-around big man. I know the health concerns are there, but shooting the rock, I think shooting he's just as good as Cat, maybe a little better.
I guess it's just the health thing. And when it comes to fantasy, it's like, Embiid may have like an 8-week period where he's like super healthy, and then he'll go out for 4 weeks, and then it's always something that's in limbo, and then he's gonna miss some games in between all of that. So I guess the health thing is my biggest drawback with him. But I think he should probably be in that conversation, especially offensively and defensively. He's probably a better defender than both of them. That's probably where he takes the cake. Like he's like that. He's like the hybrid. He has good footwork. He has a great post game when he wants to use it. He can rebound. He can defend. He'll block you. It's not like he can really defend so many other positions, but when it comes center versus center, I think so. That's a great point that you bring up. And actually, with that being said, didn't he get picked
very late
right after that?
I don't know where he went in our draft. I really don't.
Because
let me add something to that, Ron. That's a great point. And another thing I wanted to raise was that obviously, Daryl Morey being included in the situation, he brought in a lot more shooters. With Doc Rivers, we know that they're going to try and run the pick and roll a lot more. Yeah. So considering that they do have these 3-point shooters, he's probably going to be at the 3-point line more. I don't see him crashing to the basket more than he's probably going to shoot these threes. Right. So as far as that, his numbers might drop from the 3-point, honestly, because he's taking more of them.
Could be very likely. Could be very likely.
Wait, Chris, you think he's going to shoot more 3-pointers
Absolutely.
with more shooters?
Absolutely, because a big thing for them is trying to get more shots up. So, if they're going to be running the pick and roll a lot more, we know Embiid is one of the better bigs that shoots threes in the league. So, if he's running that pick and roll, and he's staying at that 3-point line, gets that shot up, hey, the more shots you take, the more shots are also more likely to miss.
I would have to disagree with that. I personally believe that, especially me being a Sixers fan, this is the prime opportunity for a coach like Doc Rivers, who is a stern coach and who, when he needs to, he will speak up. Well, we saw he should have spoke up within that Clippers and Nuggets series, but that's beside the point. I have faith in Doc. Embiid right now, with all these shooters around him, and especially a guy like Ben Simmons, who needs to have shooters around him due to his refusal to want to shoot. Embiid's focus should be being a big man. There is no reason whatsoever that you should be beyond the 3-point line, really, more than twice a game, really at all.
More than twice?
Really, he shouldn't. You have Seth Curry, who you brought in from Dallas. That's a steal for the Sixers. We've been needing it. And personally, I'm going to just keep it like this. His last name says it all. I'm done talking about Seth Curry from there. We'll then move to Danny Green. He doinked it up in the playoffs. We hope that he finds his way back in Philly. He'll be a valuable asset to have out there. Tobias Harris can still knock down shots.
A rookie, Tyrese Maxey.
He can sadly got COVID. I'm hoping to see him back as soon as possible. He's got a real dog in him. I think he's going to be great for the city. But with Embiid, bruh, it's time to put that footwork of Hakeem Olajuwon that everyone talks about, but I don't get to see because you want to spend all your time shooting jump shots to work.
Thank you.
You can sit there and still average 28 and 15 rebounds.
Easy.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the number 10th pick. Cause I don't want to get too far off of where we're going. I just wanted to recap the first round. But LeBron James went number 10. Any surprises? Are we surprised that he dropped that far?
A little bit.
I am. Absolutely.
No.
What?
No. Okay, so I heard a no. I heard yes, absolutely. What are we
I would-
thinking?
I think it's
Yeah,
I
probably.
wanna
no,
hear
I'm not
Aaron's
surprised he
take.
dropped that far, man. I'm not surprised.
I think it
Look,
was
man,
the proper
LeBron's been in the
position to
league for
take Bron.
18 years, bro.
It's like
I mean,
it's gonna be
yeah,
risky,
I love
bro.
LeBron.
LeBron's
Love
still
LeBron James.
that man's look. Time has a way of catching up to everybody, no matter what. Right?
Here's my
And
perception with Braun being picked 10th. I believe Braun dropped mainly, and hear me out with this one. The fact that the season got back in the swing so quick after we had to break from COVID, you had that time off, then you play the playoffs and you're done in early November, something like that.
They finished
Something
mid
like that.
October.
Oh, mid-October, my fault.
Mid-October.
Yeah.
Yeah, you finish around there. That shortened off season for Braun, and the years that he's played in the league at 18, he's gonna need his rest.
Definitely.
And the fact that the Lakers are considering resting him, I feel that him dropping in the draft was kind of just, it was kind of foreseen, more or less. But I feel had COVID not happened and the season panned out and all that, Lakers win the chip or whatever, I feel Braun goes higher up in the draft. I feel the shortened off season is one reason why Braun dropped in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has nothing
I
to
thought
do
he was gonna go too to Malik. So
with- Yeah, see, I swore
you know.
Malik was gonna take him. They
Well,
surprised me.
he's been loyal to LeBron. Malik's been loyal to LeBron for a while, so he just decided to get a younger version of LeBron in Luka Doncic. Less athletic.
no,
As far as
He
the
said
stat
what he
sheet,
said.
yeah, as far as the stat sheet, Braun, like
That's a conversation for another day.
Bro, he's literally bro. Do y'all not remember that Clippers game that
we know.
Luka played where he carried them on a bad ankle? And granted, the Clippers weren't good at all last year, in my opinion. But still, you let a second-year player beat you with one ankle.
Are you talking from just greatness perspective or player comparison perspective?
Both.
I don't agree with the player
I've got Ben
comparison.
Simmons'
Luka-
closest thing.
Boom.
Luka Doncic. Well, okay. So Luka. Okay, I can see that. Luka shoots about as well as LeBron did when he came into the league. That's my opinion. Luka fills up the stats just like LeBron does. Ben Simmons does that as well, but LeBron's jump shot was much farther along, in my opinion, from what I can remember, than what Ben Simmons was.
Oh, everyone's got a
Ben
better
came into
jumper
the
than Simmons. Everyone's got a better jumper than Ben Simmons.
Exactly. But Luka facilitates the ball, throws amazing dimes, can rebound,
Hey,
can get to his own bucket just as methodically as what I'm seeing Luka is doing or LeBron has done in his career. So I guess that's why I see I see a bit of the comparisons. But I mean, look, Luka is special in his own right, just being a European player, and I don't want that to be like overshadowed.
I just
he's
think they have
as
different
good.
styles. Both great, like you
I-
said in
you
their
know
own
what?
right.
I can-
Just different styles.
For sure. And I think, in my opinion, Luka Doncic, and this is just to his credit, he might be one of the more fundamentally sound players we have in our league right now. I understand that's something that's a bit more emphasized in the other leagues, but we're gonna move on to number 11. This was Tim's pick. Shout out Duran for that LeBron James pick. I was very surprised that he picked LeBron. I actually thought he was gonna pick Trey Young, of who went next to Tim. Yeah, a lot happened today, and it's sometimes often a little difficult to like remember who went where and when.
Especially with 14 rounds and 18 heads.
Yeah, lot of people. But I love this pick for Tim. I think he's gonna be great for Tim's team. Not really a whole lot of negative to say there. I kind of just thought that Duran was gonna go out and pick Trey Young instead of going with King James. But what the next pick is what I'm really interested in, and this was Seasway's pick. Devin Bean Booker,
The Valley Boy.
the Valley Boy, the ultimate Valley Boy. Shouts out to Seasway for picking him, and we had a couple conversations about sees way picking Devin Booker. Uh, I wasn't sold on it until he actually, like the night before, last night, really last night, um, that he said he was like, I think it's likely that Devin Booker is gonna fall. So I was really like great and excited that he got Devin Booker. It seems to me that just about everybody got the player that they were wanted to get, or that they had to like choose or decide on. For the most part, like if you wanted a player, it was a good chance that you were gonna get him. So not too much to say on that end because I really like that pick. And so we're gonna move to. And this is I'm interested. I'm
Real
really
surprise for
I'm
me.
really interested in this
Yeah.
pick. Aaron, you picked Andre Drummond. Now,
Indeed.
I love this pick personally. I was very surprised by it, but I love this pick. But I wanna hear from you why you thought this was a good first round pick for you and your team.
Well, Drummond averages about 20 and 12 at least every night, right? With the boosted points and rebounds and stuff, just having a double machine like that to anchor your team, really, honestly, it's just always a good thing to have. I mean, we put the big and big bird ballers, we pick bigs. I mean, that's what we do. And like honestly, being back at 13, the options are kind of limited, right? So you can either swing big and look at one of the guards that are available and hope that they, break out a little bit more, and, have a little bit higher than expected year, or you can go with something more consistent, I think. And I think Andre Drummond was just the way to go, that pick.
Yeah, at first I was shook, but half a second later I was like, Aaron's smart as hell.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Because for those of you who don't know, so some of our scoring system has actually changed. We've shifted a little bit to giving some of the defensive end more of the respect and attention that it deserves. So our steals and blocks have been up to 4 points from them being like only 1 point. Our rebounds are now calculated at 2 points for every rebound. And so, I really wanted to make it a point that we really emphasize that defensive side. And just to make sure that we're giving people who do well on that end of the field get the kind of respect that they deserve in our Flunkies League. And because we've emphasized so much on the three ball and people actually putting the ball in the basket, of which that's the idea of the game, I felt as though it was really a really good opportunity, especially with money on the line. You want players that are going to be able to perform and play at the highest level at any time that they're out there on the field. And I felt as though giving people that defensive bump in points was going to be a huge necessary shift for our league. And I'm really happy we were able to get that done. With that being said, we're going to move on. Javaughn, another guy that's on the call here. The most surprising pick of the first round. I gotta be honest. You decided to pick Russell Westbrook, and so I understand that you're a
Washington Wizards fan.
Yes, you are a Washington Wizards fan, especially being a native from that particular
Northeast Washington D.C. born and raised.
What was the mindset? What was the thinking behind you picking Russell Westbrook? I was thoroughly surprised, and that came out of left field, in my opinion.
There was a few different things. One, when I seen my draft card and said probably to draft Bradley Beal, I got really upset. It's like I ain't gonna just assume I'm gonna pick Bradley Beal. Two, realistically, stat wise, Russ is a lot more valuable now. I mean, he's literally a walking triple-double. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't want that, especially when I knew the rest of my picks probably wouldn't be that crazy as far as double-doubles and triple-doubles go. And, I really thought it was probably the best pick out of the two. Seeing that also, Russ is probably going to take a lot of Bradley Beal's touches. Truthfully, it is the way it is. It's just a player he is. So that's where I was thinking. I'm staying by that.
Look, in reality, Javaughn just picked him because he's a Washington Wizard now.
Hold on, let's calm down.
We're gonna move on that note.
Let's calm down.
Honestly,
Hey, he's gonna
It's not
snap
true
in
at all,
DC, in my
sir.
opinion.
Yeah,
Because if that
You
was the
think
case,
so?
I would pick Bradley Beal. Honestly,
wrong.
if it was just because of the fact that he plays for the Wizards, I really would have picked Bradley Beal. Honestly. And truthfully, I was contemplating picking up John Wall because, yeah, but not for my first round.
Because he's a
Nah.
wizard.
Hey,
Nah, relax.
Javaughn
Because he
that's
looks
right.
incredible. Because he looks really incredible right now.
He does look good.
A lot of people
I'm
look
just
really
saying.
good on Instagram.
Well, he played last night. Did you? I don't know if y'all saw the game. He played like
Yes.
I had a chance to catch some of the game last night.
Right.
John Wall, bro, you
Mhm.
look great, bro. You really like. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. I even watched you make a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
I know,
He
right?
played.
No shade to
Surprise,
him.
surprise,
He got a
Keshawn.
three.
You can shoot threes.
Apparently.
I mean, when you
Hey,
got guard,
look,
when
look,
Kobe
look.
White guarding you,
Look,
bro, it's
hold
not
on,
that hard,
Javaughn.
bro.
Wait, before you say that, I remember last year Ben Simmons knocked down a corner three. So if we going by John Wall
yeah.
knocking down
And
one
then he
three,
proceeded to
Ben
go
Simmons
like
don't
those
do
for
that,
eight.
bro. Don't
do that. No,
Ben
you're
Simmons
gonna
has
sit
made
here and
3
act like
threes in his
Ben
career,
Simmons is a
bro.
better three shooter than John Wall.
I
You're
didn't say
crazy.
that, but
Right.
you just said
Haven't
because
seen it.
John Wall knocked down 1 3 ball, he can shoot threes. And I said Ben Simmons knocked down a 3 ball, so that means he can shoot threes, right?
Look,
Oh my
man.
gosh.
All
I
I'm
didn't,
saying
no, I'm
is
just alluding to
John
what he
Wall
said
is
there.
back.
Now
That's
there's
all I'm
evidence.
saying.
That's all that
John
needs to be
Wall
said.
is back.
John
He's
Wall
back.
is back,
John
and
Wall's
it's
back.
and
He's
it's
back.
so good to have him back. I'm
Very
not
much.
even gonna lie. Any player that can come back from injury, it's always so good to have him back. And so now we're gonna actually like round out this with with some of the other rookies. Javaughn's a rookie, of course, and he started it off. But we got the next one, Sam Brown, pick Joel Embiid.
Genius.
Great pick. I don't think there's too much else that we haven't said already about Embiid. That can really be said again. I'm just, I really just want him to stay healthy. That's the big thing. And to be able to use his God-given gifts, to the best of his ability. But we're gonna move on. Cordell picked another Sixer, and this is what I was surprised about is that a Sixer went back to back. Cordell, otherwise known as Slanging Slasher. That's such a tongue twister. I don't like that.
Hash ringing.
Say that 5 times.
I don't like that. That was difficult. It's difficult, like trying to read it here.
Bro, did you just curse at me?
All two-way slashing playmakers. That's what we got on his roster, bro.
Pretty much.
All finishing takeovers,
Yeah,
bro.
Cordell picked the two-way slashing playmaker in Ben Simmons.
Yup.
Again, a great, great one of the better point guards in our league. Develop that jump shot, man. That's as a Sixers fan, that's all we're really waiting for. I mean, you were an all defensive player last year, led the league in steals. Like you're great on that end. You can play make, something. So we're gonna move on from you. But shouts out to you. We got Devin next, who picked Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum. This was a great pick for him, and the fact that and honestly, in my opinion, the first round is always low-hanging fruit. You pick the best players available to you. That should be a no-brainer, in my opinion. Jason Tatum, great pick. Love that pick. Versatile player, can play offense, can play defense, can pass the ball. Just an all-around great forward. 3 and 4 player. Can will dribble the lights out of you. Sidestep you. I love it. I love it. Jason Tatum. And to round out the first round, we had Daquan Stokes, who was a last-minute addition to our league sometime last week. He picked Bradley Beal to end out the first round. Now, this is amazing because, we got Chris here on the line. And it's always a funny trip down memory lane because I can remember the time when he picked Nikola Vucevic over Bradley Beal. And I just want to give some clarity on this, right? So it's been a whole year, and Chris had that I think he had the 17th pick, and then someone else had the 18th pick, something like that. And Chris decided to draft Nikola Vucevic. Fast forward to now, Bradley Beal went number 18 in the first round. Nikola Vucevic was the 17th pick in the 6th round. So he was he was like 30. He was the 35th pick in the second round. So that should tell you about how well a player like that does in hindsight in terms of getting those two players. Not going to focus on it too much. I still think it was a bad pick. Nonetheless, he did get Bradley Beal. Whatever. So we're going to move on to our next topic here. Jake, did you want to introduce what our next topic is?
You threw me off guard. What's our next topic?
I got you.
Oh, brother, this
Hey,
guy's
I got you.
This guy's
Hey,
No, I wanted to throw that ringer out to him.
So,
Oh, do you want to do it?
yeah.
Okay,
Look,
go ahead.
So obviously,
Oh, God.
we've seen the first round picks go. So overall, we've seen certain teams rosters. So who do y'all believe is the teams to beat right now? If you look at based on the draft right now, who is your top three? Who are going to control this entire league?
Top three best pick, top three best teams in the league.
Yep.
It's so hard to say. Did you look at all 18 teams?
More than likely not. But
You know?
let me rephrase it. Who stood out to you when you sat there and said, "Yo"?
Oh, going through the draft, who stood out?
Yeah,
I
whose
gotta.
team
Oh
stood
man,
out?
I gotta say.
Easily.
I like my team. Shit.
Say so.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I think just about everyone had a pretty decently like picked squad. This is tough because it's like you got to look at 18 teams. I think for me, as I was going through the draft, for the most part, I think Mike, first champion in the Flunkies League, otherwise known as the Los Angeles Black Mambas, had a great draft in my opinion. I still have yet to see what Nicholas Batum is gonna do, but he was Mike's last pick. He was pick number 4. He was like his 14th pick. He had Karl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell, Tobias Harris, Lonzo Ball, R.J. Barrett, Carmelo Anthony, Markelle Fultz. Fultz. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you, bro. Markelle Fultz, Joe Harris, P.J. Washington, Chris Boucher, Kevin Knox, Reggie Jackson, Chris Dunn, Nicholas Batum.
That ain't bad at all.
It's not bad. Top heavy, I think. But
I
as
think
I
that's
was
well-rounded.
as I was going through the draft, I think that was like, yo, he's a good one. Another team that's gonna be top heavy, Tucker's team, who had the first pick in the draft. He's just gonna be a very top heavy team. Most first round picks are, although granted, he had like a round or two where they were nothing but auto picks. So it's like when you step away from our draft, you're only doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm gonna be honest. I think Devin, the guy who said one thing in our group chat and then dipped, had
You said Malik's disciple? I agree.
yeah, Keenan Johnson.
He's Mini Malik.
I think he had a very solid draft. I'll name off a couple of the players he had. Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, Malcolm Brogdon, Buddy Hield, Kobe White, Miles Bridges, Anthony Edwards. That's like half of his roster right there. Going into the other half, Brooke Lopez, Paul Millsap, Killian Hayes, Dwayne Dedman, Cedi Osman, Aaron Naismith, and Patrick Beverly. For the most part, that's about as pretty like half of his team is solid in my opinion. I just loved everything about where things were going. A lot of surprises people had. I want to ask Javaughn this really quick now that we're on the subject of overall drafting. Javaughn, you had quite a few guards picked in general in your draft. Is there a reason why you decided to draft Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul?
And Ricky Rubio.
It's two reasons. Numbers is one, and two, because I know that if during the season, need be, I can trade one or trade the other for something more valuable. Um, I know how much these Negroes in here like to move around players. So I know Chris Paul would be a nice little bargaining chip to get something else that I want.
Look, he better come and play like he did last year. Otherwise, you're going to be holding on to
That
that
too.
bargaining chip for a
That
while.
too.
And
I have faith that he's going to play really good with Phoenix. I mean, there's no reason why he wouldn't. Truth be told, like he came off of a stellar season last year. For him to play bad this year with a lot of good pieces around him would just mean that he's ass.
yeah, I can for sure see that. So let me go into the to who I think are the big winners and losers are. Um, in my opinion, we're gonna start off with a loser. In my opinion, and you guys can chime in as well. I think a big loser was Javaughn. I think you picked a lot of guards that I just wasn't expecting. Like I said, I wasn't expecting you to pick Russell Westbrook. By that point, I already pretty much put you in my biggest losers list. But we'll see how Chris Paul plays. I think last year he showed he can still play at a high level. So you may have a really interesting bargaining chip there. But that's gonna really, you know, that's he's really gonna have to show me personally, and I'm a little biased. In my opinion, another loser, obviously it's gonna be Tucker. Top heavy team again. He's gonna have to really use, in my opinion, D'Angelo Russell, Jamal Murray, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mitchell Robinson, as possible bargaining chips. I think he got a steal with Mike Conley in the seventh round, but we'll really see how he plays. You don't know what you're gonna get from Al Horford, Vika Zubac, Derek White, Thaddeus Young, Ish Smith, Nerlens Noel, Shabazz. Like you don't know what you're gonna get. A lot of them are journeymen, in my opinion. But that's what you get when you auto pick. But let's.
Can I throw one in there?
Yeah. Please.
The commissioner, Andre Jones. Went loyal to the
Respect.
soil.
Let's talk about it.
Took Steph Curry.
Respect. Let's talk about it.
This is good because I want to explain my reasoning.
Took three
Yes.
rookies. So that's three wild cards right there. You went with your man Evan Fournier again. Was a little surprised by that. I don't know.
So, do me a
Aaron
favor,
Baines,
bro.
Luke Kennard.
Do me a favor. Tell me who his big men are right now.
His big man, Rudy Gobert,
Right. A returner.
Bobby Portis,
Uh-huh.
Aaron Baines,
Right.
and Jeff Green, and Dwight Powell as well.
Okay, so he
Dwight Powell,
got
yeah.
a healthy Dwight Powell, which I know he was big on last year. The thing is that many people don't know about the commish, which I think every flunky prays on, is this dude loves him some shot chucking guards. He loves him some 3-point shooting high volume guards. So, with that being said, commish, can we sit here and ask, bruh, why stay in the streets, bruh?
Well, look, let me explain a lot of my reasonings for what I did. So, as we went through a lot of the mock drafts, I could not get my hands on LaMelo Ball, and that was killing me. I already knew I wanted LaMelo Ball. I'm a big fan of potential. I think I'm pretty decent at scouting what some players are going to be able to do. I got to see Obi Toppin play last night, and I really enjoyed what I see. Box office guy. He's going to be super great. He's going to have an opportunity to really just blossom in front of our eyes, and especially for that New York Knicks organization that really could use something nowadays. I have no problem drafting on potential. The East is going to be super competitive this year, and I'm willing to wait it out all 18 of these weeks just to sneak into the playoffs, because I know once playoff time comes around, the rookies, Steph Curry, they're all going to be gearing up to that next level. I love Rudy Gobert again because of our new point system. Defensive player of the year, just great on defense. That's his biggest trait. And I love that. That he's just super amazing for that.
No disrespect. I was just curious.
Yeah, no,
know?
yeah, no. Those
Because
are
I was surprised. 3 rookies. That
yeah.
That's a
Well,
shot.
well, I'm gonna be honest. Aaron Baines at pick numbers at round 7, steal.
Stole my pick, bro. You stole my pick, bro.
Now, if you
RJ, the Aaron Baines pick is a great pick, but in comparison with the 3 drafted rookies, it washes out to basically nothing, man. Like,
I agree.
Because you hockey took Aaron Baines kind of high, bro.
I just
Like, in
okay.
the
So
mock
okay,
drafts-
so I disagree. I disagree that I took Aaron Baines super high because number one, he's in my opinion, he just went under everyone's radar. That's just my opinion. Number two, he doesn't have a whole lot of competition at the big man position. He's gonna go in there as a starter and play alongside Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, and I'm really waiting to see like what it is they're all going to do in their own right. Uh, and everybody was kind of big-ish on Aaron Baines last year when DeAndre Ayton went out in Phoenix.
Mhm.
So, really, I just was like, look, I'm just gonna go get another big man, so I don't have to worry about that until much later on. So it was more of like a strategy thing because obviously you all know, like Keshawn said, I love shot chucking guards. And in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Of which, in my defense, I chose Jaylen Brown, who is
solid.
a very solid guard on just a 3-and-D player. I've heard the same things with Mikal Bridges, so I don't understand where the loser idea comes from. But if you're gonna get me on the 3 rookies, then I will agree on that.
So who was your third loser?
Ron J.
Javaughn.
I also think you took Jaylen Brown kind of high, too.
Okay. So you want to know why I took him so high?
Was what your second
Why?
round pick?
He was my third round pick. Third round
That's
pick.
appropriate.
Yeah. So I chose him so high because I knew I wouldn't have a chance to get him in the 3rd round.
Absolutely.
Because I was the 4th pick in our draft. I knew, like, I'm looking here. He was not going to be available to be picked 29 picks later. That wasn't happening. Similar thing with Buddy Hield. I think Tyler Hero as well. Like those types of guys who can really get a bucket, and or play defense in Jaylen Brown's case, they don't stay there long. So I'm a big fan of Jaylen Brown. Absolutely love his game. Now, okay, let me because with the rookies, it's all potential. You have no idea what it is that they're getting ready to do. But I'm gonna bank on that. If it's injuries that takes me out again this year, it's nothing new.
So
Was it Gobert was your second pick?
But can we circle back to the fact that Ron J compared Jaylen Brown and Mikal Bridges?
What about it?
I did.
You said they were similar players of similar quality.
I don't think
Like
that's-
Jaylen
Okay.
Brown was a borderline all-star.
Okay,
bro.
if I did, I'm so sorry. That is no disrespect to you, Jaylen Brown or Mikal Bridges. If
Bridges
I didn't
has
even,
that potential though.
he has that potential, and he'll be a starter this year as well. So yeah, I didn't. I don't remember me doing that. But if I did do that, that's not. I don't know what was going on. That's not. They're not comparable. Jaylen Brown should be an all-star in my opinion.
So who was the third loser that you had before Jake had put you in there? Who was the third loser?
What was the question?
We're still on winners and losers.
Who was Ron's third loser?
Yeah, who was Ron's third loser?
Honestly, it might have been Malik.
Really?
The third loser?
I thought you would have said Cordell.
Cordell actually to me.
It's
I
Cordell.
thought you was gonna say Cordell.
I'm
bro.
so sorry.
I thought you was gonna say Cordell, bro.
I forgot about it.
I kind of like Malik's lineup.
It's Cordell. It's Cordell.
Yeah, Malik-
He has
yeah,
nothing but
Malik-
two-way slashing playmakers on his team, bro.
No shooters. All 2-pointers.
All dunkers.
Here's the thing. So real quick to kind of just segue into that, the fact that you brought up Cordell, we had the one and only trade made before the draft happen last night?
That's true. Yeah.
And that was between Javaughn and Cordell.
Yeah, it was last night.
Last night.
Javaughn traded his
A second round pick
for
his third and sixth.
So Javaughn got 2 picks in the third, 2 picks in the sixth. Cordell got to double up on second round picks. Now I know that he took Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which was a big time flunky all-star last year, a great pick.
And y'all were clowning me on him.
So, yes, and I'm heartbroken.
And I'm the clown for giving him up.
Listen,
it is what it is.
I was heartbroken because you sent me Terry Rozier for Shai, and I said no. And, I have that screenshot in my phone. It burns me up. Regardless of that, who do y'all believe won that trade? Because we saw Cordell grab 2 second-round picks. But me personally, I look at Javaughn. Javaughn, he drafted, but when he goofed away in the 6th round, and I believe the 3rd round, I don't know who he took as his back-to-back 3rd-round picks. Knowing Javaughn, I would have thought he did better.
Well, now that you say that, let's actually look at who they picked. So Cordell picked Zion Williamson,
which I knew,
and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Great picks.
Okay, so he was already gonna have the 21st pick, but then he got the 23rd pick. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was that second. That pick he basically got from Javaughn. Okay. So no problems with that, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, great player. All love and respect to him and what he did with that Thunder team.
So this is a quote-unquote 2-for-1. So who did Javaughn get?
I got Tyler Hero.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, my 3rd pick?
He's got.
Third.
No, I had 2 back-to-back picks.
You had back-to-back picks in the 3rd.
Yeah.
Tyler,
I didn't have a 2nd-round pick.
Tyler Hero was your 4th-round pick. We're talking about your 3rd round.
Who was my 3rd-round pick?
So your 3rd-round picks was
my 3rd-round pick was
Chris Paul and Clint Capella.
Yeah.
So it was Clint Capella.
Yeah.
Capella was that pick, and who was his 6th-round pick?
And your 6th-round pick was lousy marketing.
Hey,
Javaughn, you lost this trade, bro.
You lost that trade.
Okay, so not only do I want to say not only do I want to say that Javaughn lost this trade, but he definitely lost the draft. But let me explain why. The reason why I'm saying that, so yes, Russell Westbrook was a great pick. I have no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But when you look at Clint Capella, he's going to take a back seat to John Collins. So that's 1. 2, lousy marketing. Javaughn, I don't know if you were watching Larry Marketing last year, but he did horrible. I don't want that man anywhere near my roster. You are not going to be able to trade that man. You're going to be stuck with him for the whole entire season. So not only that, also JJ Redick, he's somebody who's not going to get up as many shots as usual. As compared to everybody else that's in New Orleans, his numbers are going to drop most likely or stay the same. You're probably not going to be able to trade him. DeAndre Jordan, his numbers are going to take a back seat to Jared
No, he might be starting, bro.
No,
he might be starting over Jared.
That's one pick I would stand by.
He might be starting.
DeAndre Jordan's going to look good, regardless.
Now,
I don't know.
Let me elaborate on this. So I slightly agree, but I slightly disagree with Chris. Now, granted, we've donned the nickname Lousy for Lowry Marketing because of how lousy he played outside of the first 2 weeks. But I will say,
and he's injury prone.
Now, Sterling can correct me if I'm incorrect, but Fred Hoiberg, original coach?
Oh, his first year?
No. What was Hoiberg the coach last year for the Bulls?
No, it was Jim bitch ass Boylan.
Oh, okay. Well, we're on the airwaves. Try not to curse and stuff like that, but whatever.
That's my one. I had to let that out.
Jim Boylan was the coach last year, and as we've seen, Markkanen was not very pleased with how he was utilized, I believe, in the offensive scheme or just by the team, period. I want to say this. Do I believe Lauri Markkanen is going to be an all-star this year? Absolutely not. Do I believe Markkanen will improve this year? Yes. So I believe Javaughn picking up Markkanen isn't a bad pick, especially for when he got him. I think Markkanen can do a little bit better, and that's coming from me because I call him lousy all the time. But I think the pickup of Clint Capella, so basically the trade that really happened was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Clint Capella and Lauri Markkanen. Javaughn, this is coming from me. I expected you to do better with those 2 picks because had you have done better with those picks, those are controversial picks. Getting a second, third round pick, which is where we start to dwindle down with good, solid names, with good play. And then the 6th round is where you kind of just have that last gasp of effort to say, like, hey, let me see if a guy like a Goran Dragic is available. And, once we start dwindling down to the later 7, 8, 9 rounds, we're not looking at anyone who's quote unquote name-wise formidable that you would say off the top of my head, oh yeah, this is definitely a grab. Like I ended up grabbing Gary Trent Jr. in like the 11th round.
Well, look,
So,
we're gonna.
okay, in my defense, and I'm just going to say this. By the time I got those 2 third-round picks, when I tell you there were damn near no good forwards, there were very few good forwards. And I already had too many guards, in my opinion. I was like, I already know I'm going to draft too many guards. I don't want to continue to do that. So that's why I picked up Clint, because I'm like, at least I'll get something out of that. Now with Larry Markkinen, I don't know, bro. It's just a faith thing on that one. I'm like,
hey, bro. Hey, I want to say this. Let me say this because Javaughn had just said that at that time that he picked Larry Markkinen. There were no other good forwards left. Carmelo Anthony was picked. Carmelo Anthony was picked 5 in the same round. 5 places after Larry Markkinen was picked.
And Melo had 21.
Oh, for real? But I wasn't trying to take Melo that high. I'm gonna be real. I really wasn't.
You got to take him there. He's one of the last few names.
Davis Bertans was picked in the next round.
Bertans isn't going to be that crazy this year.
Oh, stop it.
He's not.
Russ is going to take away from those numbers for sure.
He's not. Bro, y'all don't understand. Like, y'all have to see how Russ plays. Y'all know how he is. Numbers won't necessarily dwindle, but they're not going to be as efficient. He's not.
In Javaughn's defense, I think Cordell might be the loser of this draft. He has a Plumlee brother on his team.
Yeah, bro.
Look, let's keep this stat.
So here's what I have to say about the whole thing, because I'm the one who drafted Davis Bertans. The reason why, because I was contemplating with this pick, either choosing between Marvin Bagley or Davis Bertans. I chose Bertans because of the fact of this. Bertans is an elite shooter. I believe he shot the 3 ball around 39 to 40% last season.
Yeah, he had career highs.
For the Wizards. So him being a good and reliable stretch 4 is beneficial. Someone like Russell Westbrook, who not only can score the ball, who can rebound, but his big thing is he's a point guard. He passes the ball. If Russ can find Bertans open, Bertans can sit there and rack up the 3 balls for me. So I can get 40 fantasy points off Davis Bertans hitting 5 threes.
Easy.
Maybe that's if those passes aren't being put to Bradley Beal first.
But I've taken into account. I took into account Bradley Beal because Beal is there. Russ is going to.
Because you have Beal and you have Rui.
But here's the thing, Rui. I know
Rui's not a shooter. I'm not gonna sit there and say that.
Shooter, so these opens up the things for Bertans, and then Thomas Bryant is the last guy on the court. And no disrespect to him when I say this, but everybody in the Flunkies forgets about Thomas Bryant. Like he's just like.
Well, what about Denny?
We're
Denny's
not
coming off the bench, and I don't think he's going to get that many minutes.
Denny can't even use his left hand. He can't even go left.
I mean,
Denny is cool for the most part.
Scoring.
He's a good shooter. He's a decent shooter, but he's having to get that many minutes to be real.
I see Bertans thriving in a situation where Russell Westbrook can just kick him the ball. I mean, my thing is this: if a guy is shooting 40+% in the NBA, why is he not getting that shot? And why wouldn't you try to go to him as often as possible? I understand Bradley Beal on the court, but come on now, you gonna sit there and put the ball in Rui's hands over Bertans for a 3?
I would. Shit, Rui's on my team.
I mean, I know you would.
Yikes.
I would too. I would too. Rui was one of the best rising stars last year.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
Hey, Javaughn.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about this trade going down. So you gave up your 2nd round pick,
yep,
which is very valuable, being in the snake draft, for a 3rd and a 6th.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. What was your thinking behind that?
So honestly, like looking back on it in retrospect, it was probably one of the worst ideas I ever had. Um,
Hey, you're learning.
but I
At
was
least you're being
definitely
honest.
thinking about just doubling up in that third round because I really felt like a lot of players were going to drop, and some of them did not. So it was a gamble, and I lost the gamble, and then I messed up with drafting as well.
Hey, I lost a lot of gambles last year, so I feel you.
But
And
it's
so,
my first year, bro. I'm not even mad
so
because
we're gonna move to the winners of the draft. I know we've talked a lot about the losers, of which also I just want to slightly highlight. Chris chose Will Barton. I just want that to be known. Okay, we're gonna move on to the
Thank you,
winners.
Chris.
We're gonna
No,
move
let's
on.
talk
We're gonna
about that
move on to the
after the
winners.
fact.
We're gonna move on to the
oh
winners.
my god.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the winners. So I think. Uh, oh, Jake, you think you won?
I won. You can't tell me I
You
didn't.
think
I
you
got my
won?
man's KD at 8, and second round I got Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I'm.
Hey, I was pissed when I saw you had both of them. It
Don't
took me
let
a
Jimmy
minute.
Butler fall. Like,
It's not y'all, because I had to pick him up. I just was behind you in the draft.
boom. Okay,
And
true.
I think you're actually a pick. Yeah, you were the pick before me.
Right in front
And
of
you
you.
took.
So I think Tim's team again is a pretty decent winner. While again it looks top heavy again, I just think the kind of the quality of players he got in that first half of the draft make up for his terrible finish.
And Tim's got enough pieces on his team. He's gonna finesse somebody.
He's moving something.
Seasway is another huge winner. I mean,
I think Cecil's the winner of the draft.
I know Caesar's watching this. Hey, Brad, good job.
big winner.
Good
Now,
job.
in my opinion, all this can crumble and fall apart if John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins don't stay healthy. And the fact that he took both of them is actually a little surprising now that I'm really looking at that. But what they did last night, as of right now, I have no reason to say that Seasway wasn't another big winner. I'm often always very interested to see Aaron's team and how he's going to construct it and how it came out. I gotta say he's a big winner as well. He got Aaron Gordon in the 5th, Goran Dragic in the 6th, and then got Duncan Robinson in the 8th. In the 8th,
Yeah, that hurt me.
like
I was eyeing him.
I was
watching.
like, wow. And then I see he stole Fred Van Vliet in the 3rd round.
And the funny thing is, I was about
Great
to try
pick.
and pick Fred with my
Great picks. Hey Aaron, bro, let me ask you this: Do you any chances of repeating this year?
That's always the hope. This draft, it didn't really go how we wanted it to be honest. I mean, there's some mistakes here and there, but honestly, I still think I have a top 5 team at least. And with fantasy, that's all you really need, and then stuff will shake how it shakes. I think what a lot of people fell into the trap of this year, which I think I fell into last year, a lot of people pick like prominent players on like contending teams, and that's going to lead to a lot of players sitting out. And then once it gets towards the end of the season, they're going to sit out those last like 5 or 6 games or whatever right when we hit the playoffs. So it's going to be kind of tough. So we'll see.
Agreed. I can see that.
So one thing I want to add, Ronjay. So in the chat, apparently Cesar says that he thinks we kind of just breezed by his team. I'm going to be honest. I'm scared for Cesar's team, but here's the reason why. So a lot of the people that he has on this team have the potential to be injured at any given point in time, and that's going to be a huge factor for him this year. So taking into account John Wall is just coming back off this injury, that's one thing. Book, his history of injuries, kind of give or take, you never really know what you're going to get out of him. As far as DeMarcus Cousins, I'm not so much worried about him for his injuries, but ejections is going to be a big thing for him. He cannot go without getting a tech for I don't even know how long. He's going to get ejected. I know that for a fact. He's either going to get ejected or something just wild is going to happen. Then you look at Blake Griffin.
I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I
How so?
disagree as
I
well.
think at this stage,
Boogie isn't the same kind of Boogie.
yeah,
he
I think
was.
at this stage of his career, bruh, he's more focused on just keeping his body right, keeping his mental right,
I mean,
and just focusing on the game of basketball, bro.
yeah,
He's
Boogie's
not
We
the
good
don't
same
know.
body
that
as he
we
came
don't
from
know.
Sacramento,
sign
bro.
language up, but I mean,
I have a question. When was the last time Boogie played a whole season?
yes.
Right.
That's a great question.
About 4 years ago.
That's a long time.
That's a
Like
great.
like discounting injuries and ejections, that's a long time, bro. I get that he's also coming off the bench too, but who knows? Because Boogie has been the same
Is
mentally
he?
for how many years now?
Is
Yeah,
he
he's coming
coming-
off the bench.
Is he coming off the bench?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
You mean this year?
I think he's going to start, bro.
Are,
Behind
are you
who?
talking about this year in
Um,
Houston?
Yeah, I saw something projected that he was going to come off the bench. I don't know for sure if that's what they're going to go with because there's
They
nothing
bring him in off the
released
bench.
about that, but I'm pretty sure
I think
from what I saw,
because I think
yeah.
they started Christian Wood, right?
Christian Wood. Yep.
And then PJ Tucker's probably gonna be the power forward.
My thing is,
Yeah.
this. I would have
Wow.
swore they played both of them at the same time on the court.
That's
That'd be
interesting.
tough.
That's
Christian
really
Wood's a
interesting.
stretch four. Put him
Yes,
in the corner.
Wood shot around 37% last year from deep, around maybe like 14 points a
DeMarcus
game.
roam the paint.
Boogie can roam the paint, and the thing is, as we saw, Boogie scored 7 points. He was 3 for 3. His first 3 buckets were a steal that led to a dunk, a 3-point shot that was assisted by John Wall, and then he made a tough layup at the basket.
Go ahead, Boogie.
I believe Boogie will be perfectly fine.
Look, man.
I would be surprised if he's not starting. I actually
John
personally, I would.
John Wall's arch nemesis is a flight of steps. I don't trust that man with nothing.
I mean, y'all also basing this on.
As much as I love John Wall, and I'll say it to the day is blue, bro. John Wall is DC to forever. That man's arch nemesis is a flight of steps.
I'm really glad you said that, Javaughn, because one of the things that stood out for me last night in the game was he was driving to the rack, and he had some crazy putback where he came down on one leg, and I got scared. Not gonna lie, I got scared for that man. He's going to keep doing risky stuff like that throughout the season, so that's something.
I mean, it's better he do that and be 100, like be completely 100%, than him try to fake it. I'm just scared he's gonna get hurt. That's it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look,
his production until he get hurt is going to be amazing. That's not a question. But I just hope and pray he does not get injured.
John
Hold on,
Wall's
Javaughn,
going
see?
to play. Like John Wall's going to play how John Wall plays. Like I don't see like there's if you like you just said if he holds back that could actually be more fatal for an injury than him just being very conservative. So I just he's gonna ball out and I hope he does. I hope Boogie does. With that being said, I didn't think Seasway was just gonna pick both of them though.
Hey,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah,
bad
that
idea.
definitely threw me for a
It's
loop,
not a
bro.
bad idea. It's actually a very good security blanket because if you're thinking about it, especially the situation in Houston via the James Harden situation going on right now, this is a primetime opportunity for a guy like Boogie who, we saw him put up, I believe it was like 15 points last night.
Something like
And
that.
John Wall had a 13-5-9 game. So John Wall came out there and almost put up a double-double. Boogie's out there putting up almost 20 points per game. You look at a situation where John Wall might pull, not John Wall, James Harden might pull a Kawhi Leonard situation with San Antonio and not play until he until he gets traded. There's a possibility that Wall and Boogie become the top 2 once for the Houston Rockets players in fantasy at this point in time.
I mean, I'm not. I think for me, I'm not more so disagreeing with his output or production. It's more so the idea of just their health. That should be the number one thing, in my opinion, that I think I would look at in terms of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. Now you could make that same extension argument for someone like a Steph Curry.
You can make that argument for anybody.
Exactly.
Anybody could get injured at any point in time.
It's a part of the game, and so like I said, nonetheless, I still think Seasway had a very solid team. He was even able to get Norman Powell in the 8th round. Like that's pretty decent in my opinion. I know him well because I had him on my team last year. Ankle injuries, I would be on the lookout for that a little bit, but we'll see.
Seasway, you took a lot of picks I wanted, so talk to me nice, step into my office.
or maybe you got to step into his office because he took your pick. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Something like that.
Can I ask you a
I
question?
hated drafting after seasons like that. Was
Is
the
it
most
time for me to
frustrating thing.
explain now?
Huh?
Is it time for me to explain now?
Explain what?
You know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that means no.
Okay.
That means no.
You
I
sound
don't
like
know what you mean.
you like talking in riddles for no reason.
Listen, bro. I took a controversial player in my draft list.
What round?
Wait, yeah, what round?
I forget.
Oh,
That was beyond controversial, bro. That was just.
It's not that
Oh.
bad.
What round is that?
You talking about
17?
Kemba?
That's the 9th
Or
round.
No, I'm talking about Cole
That's
Anthony.
acceptable at 9.
Yeah.
Cole
To
Anthony.
Cole Anthony?
Yeah.
Cole Anthony?
Remember, he took Cole Anthony, bro. He
Hey,
chose Cole Anthony.
hey, Aaron, you owe him $20, right?
Oh no! I said first 5 rounds.
He did say first 5. He definitely did.
First 5.
I mean, look,
Mm.
I
Chose him in 9.
had a slight reason why choosing Cole Anthony. Not many people was gonna believe in him like that, but one thing that opened up my eyes to picking Cole Anthony at that point in time was DJ Augustine had left Orlando. DJ Augustine is now in Milwaukee, where he is backing up Drew Holiday with what's it called, Eric Bledsoe being gone. So Cole Anthony's only competition for the starting role is Markelle Fultz, which I don't believe Cole Anthony is going to beat out Markelle Fultz for that starting role. I believe Fultz has solidified he's going to be the starter.
Great. Markelle Fultz is great right
But
now.
I believe that Cole Anthony has an opportunity, especially off the bench, with the way that he plays. He is sharing the court with second stringers such as Mo Bamba, Terrence Ross, goodness, I think Kem Birch. And I have no
Something like
idea who their backup 2 guard is. So I believe Cole Anthony is going to be able to have his little bit of moments where he can score the ball. I don't anticipate Cole Anthony putting up, 15 points off the bench. But if a guy can give me 11 to 12 points off the bench, I can't see that being a bad pick, especially for where I got him at 9.
4 or 5 assists. That ain't
Yeah,
bad at
and a
all.
couple of assists. Cole Anthony could be valuable. Do I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year? No. Do I think he'll make some noise for it? Possibly.
I think a pick that was a little more controversial for you. Your only center, Bobo.
Bol.
That was your only center?
No, so here I'll explain
No.
this. My reasoning for picking Bol was because I've seen how Bol played in the playoffs as well. So I picked up Bol at that point in time because AD had a dual position with him. So AD is a power forward and center. So I sat there and I was like, I've taken Bertans and I've taken Brandon Clark from Memphis because Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out for a while. So I sat there and I said, I have 2 power forwards who I can sit here and bank on, and both of them are going to be able to start. So at that point in time, I was like, I will play AD at center. Taking Bol, who now should be freed up to be able to be the bench center for Denver at this point in time, seems like a good idea. Bol can shoot the shot. He's very scrawny though, but I mean, hey, he's able to get up there and up and down the court. And from what I saw, from what he played like in the bubble, Bol wasn't bad off the bench. I can get some rebounds out of him. Do I think I'm going to get 15 to 20 points out of him? Probably not. But if I can get Bol to give me like 12 or so, I can sit there and deal with that. I can possibly, depending on how well he plays, use him as a trade asset. It just depends on how things go. With my team, I'm gonna have to be able to make moves to make myself raise into the stock because right now I'm a little bit on the outside of the corner.
And so I'm gonna come out with the power rankings between tonight or tomorrow. More than likely, I'll probably push it to tomorrow because I think that'll be interesting for conversation. But everyone answer me this. I'd like to hear an answer from everyone. If there was one player that you could have gotten in this draft but you couldn't get, who was that player? So I'll start for me. Carmelo Anthony was the one player I really wanted.
Yeah, I would totally agree. After seeing Melo last night, totally agree. I think for me, like I said, I would definitely go with Melo. But also another one, I think he's really overlooked and underrated is Bojan Bogdanovic. That man is a bucket, walking bucket. He is easily the second scoring option on the Jazz. And the fact that he averages 20 and everybody looks over him, what? Nah.
He was really good for me last year.
Great.
Bojan is extremely underrated.
Great.
And I didn't look over him, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I mean, it sounds crazy, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the person who I really wanted. I was hoping to possibly be able to trade with somebody to get up in the second round early, but I mean, I looked at the position where I was at, and I was like, I don't have any even round picks that are within range to be marketable. So I would have had to give up my first, which if I was giving up pick number 7 just to get a second rounder early, I was like, I'm better off taking my first and taking my second and not even trading.
Or you draft him with the number 7 pick.
There's no way in hell.
That's high.
Yeah,
That's high.
There's no way in hell you take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over AD or KD or any of these other guys who went in the first round. But yeah.
Aaron?
For me, I think so. You kind of mentioned it during the draft. I would have loved to have Bam Adebayo. I had the opportunity to take him. I chose Sabonis instead. I had both of them last year. Sabonis was just more consistent. I love Bam. I love Bam's versatility. I think it'll be great during the season, like the new and improved like point system and stuff. But Sabonis is just more consistent. There's gonna be some nights where Bam only gets you like 12 and 8 and like 5 assists, and you're like the Heat probably won the game or whatever, but like it's not great for fantasy sometimes.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Javaughn?
Yeah, Bam too, honestly.
Damn.
Yeah, Eric got to say it, but Bam. That's all.
Damn. That's a good one. Sterling.
Keyshawn, man.
Patrick
Keyshawn
Williams.
understand.
I already know your answer.
No,
It's Patrick Williams.
no, don't cuss at me.
You could have got him, bro.
No, stop the buffoonery. No, Zach LaVine,
Zach.
Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's the guy I wanted. A diehard Bulls fan, the saving grace of the Windy City. And Keyshawn done snagged him. Took food out my mouth, food off my plate, bro.
When it came to taking Zach LaVine, bro, it was personally a no-brainer at that point in time. I said,
I kind of knew going into this, like I might not get him, but if I have a chance.
I almost forgot about him. And that's the wild thing. Because I was sitting here and I was looking, I was like, bro, like who? Second round pick. So I was looking at him, I'm like, bro, like who am I going to get in the second round? Because everything went out of my control when I saw Shai get picked. Because personally, I'll be honest here, and this is with all disrespect. I did not think Cordell was smart enough to pick Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I had a conversation last night with Cizwe and Ronjay, and I said, Cordell is going to double up those second round picks and take someone like Zion. I called it. Because I knew he wants them dunking ass niggas.
I don't think there was a problem with him
that
drafting
brother's
Zion,
starving.
bro. It don't matter where his shot. It don't matter where his shots come from. He's gonna get 30.
Yeah,
bro.
that brother's starving.
I gotta play that one more
But
time. He was starving for
my
it.
thing was this. When I saw him take Shai, I said, I've got to grab somebody who is going to make up for the fact that I'm not getting this guy.
Hello? Hi.
I'm coming to get y'all up for church in the morning.
What you knock on my door for like that? Why you do it
You
now?
can hear me.
Okay.
All right, church in the morning at 9:30.
Okay.
All right.
I'm on the phone.
Okay.
So,
Right, bro. You could. Right, bro.
So yeah, when I
should've
saw,
muted yourself,
when I saw
bro.
Cordell, when I saw Cordell take
Hey,
Shai,
I had to mute everything for that one. I was like, oh, okay. She's getting me up. Okay, I got church early.
I
Got a eulogy tonight.
But when I saw Cordell take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I said someone's got to make up for the fact that I'm not going to get the primary scorer in OKC. And I was looking around and I was like, Well, I took AD, and I was sitting here and I was thinking about it because I was like, do I take another big man and just build around bigs? Because, this is my first year building around a big man because last year I built around Braun, a small forward. So I was like, I've got to secure a guard. When I saw Zach LaVine available, I was like, this dude is the only thing going good for Chicago.
And it's right in front of
And
Sterling.
it's right in front of Sterling. And I said, I'm absolutely taking Zach LaVine.
Because you already know I was going to snap that.
And Cordell called me out of pocket. No, I just called it for what it is. You are foolish when it comes to picking something.
So this is gonna be our last segment that I really wanted to cover. Go ahead.
Seasway. Took my spirit animal, Brandon Ingram.
Oh man.
I really wanted him second round. I'm not mad with Jimmy Butler in the second round, but
I meant to talk to you about that, bro. I got Alec Burks for you.
Oh.
It's like, no, I'm playing. I talk nice enough.
Seasway, I got whatever you want for Brandon Ingram, maybe. What's up?
So, the last thing that I really wanted to chat with you all about is we got what I love to call rivalry week coming up. It's the first time we're doing it, and we got some very 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 interesting matchups coming up to say the least. Really 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 excited for all of them. What do y'all think about rivalry week? Do you guys feel like you have any rivals right now?
My only rival is myself,
Yeah, so Sterling don't want me. It is what it is. Save yourself,
listen, Jake, you got beef with yourself, bro.
Save yourself.
Hey, I just put it out here, bro. Everybody, I don't know why it is, bro. Even last year, I guess my rival, well, not by choice because I don't find him to be a rival at all. I think he's a good. Is Chris because I guess during the assigned rivalry week, that's when I'm supposed to play Chris. So I guess Chris is my considered rival. I don't know why, because personally, y'all just must think of me as a joke in the end.
I don't
know. To sit
honestly.
there and put me up along with Chris in Comedy Central hours, like, come on now, y'all know you do better than that, bro. Like, I feel personally disrespected, and I'd like to know why. I mean, look, I understand I didn't have the best draft. Cole Anthony is a funny pick, but let's be honest now. Why the goofball? The dude who took James Harden, who might possibly be getting traded. Why him?
Yes.
Keshawn, if you want to look, I'm going to be honest. If you want to look at my roster, man for man, compared to yours, good luck.
Okay, Chris. Now,
that's all I'm going to say. Good luck.
Chris, now understand this. You beat me last year in week 3. In week 3, you beat me bad. I have to hold that. Can't even sit there and talk shit about it. Can you explain to us what your team looked like after week 5?
Get off the ropes.
It's funny that you're saying that. So that's also something that I wanna talk about. That's going to be my segue into who I think my personal rival is going to be this year. So my personal rival isn't going to be Keshawn. It's not going to be Sterling. It's not going to be Ronjay. Nobody like that. It's not Seasway. My personal rival this year is going to be Tim. But let me explain why. My rival is going to be Tim this year. First of all, we know he has at least a solid starting 5, so that's cool, right? But when you've looked at my team and Tim's team every single year since the Flunkies has been a thing, I have persistently, and hindsight is 2020. I have fueled that man's team every single year. This is not going to happen this year. Also, something I want to let you guys know too. Prior to the draft, Tim had sent me an offer for my first round pick for his second and fourth. I purposely did not take it because everything that's happened every single year. So that has not happened this year. I'm not going to be trading with him all like that. I am determined. I am determined. I lie to you not. I am determined.
He was going to get pick number 3 and number 11.
Beat this man's ass this year. I just want to make it known. That's
so
what my rival is.
No, bro. Hold on. Let's talk about that,
right,
bro.
You almost considered giving up the third pick.
I was not going to take it.
You was going to give this man an opportunity to get Luka.
Absolutely not.
What, bruh?
Absolutely not. That's exactly why I didn't take it, because it could have been easy that I could have been in a situation like Javaughn, where I was, picking somebody who's at the bottom of the barrel in whatever round. And That's exactly why it's just as important to do those mock drafts. Because if you don't know that a center is going to be slim pickings at the bottom of the second, you're screwed going into the actual draft. So when it came time to kind of think about that with Tim, of course he's going to have what he was, the 11th, 13th pick, I don't know, whatever, and potentially have somebody like James Harden. That's indestructible. Why would I do that to the league? There's money on the line.
Whoa. I'm sorry. I got some fantasy breaking news here. That's some fantasy breaking news here. So it looks like
Oh man,
ESPN has updated their app and have basically forced our hand to make our season 16 weeks for the regular season.
mm.
So our season's going to be technically shortened. So I know we had planned to have an 18-week season so that everyone could play each other once.
Wouldn't that be 17?
Yes, but 18 would be you play your rivalry week, so you play
Okay.
one team twice.
Got you.
So we got new rivals.
So basically, we'll have a chat with that later, an offline chat about that.
So there's gonna be one team that you just don't get to play.
It might be from here. It might
Two
be
teams.
2 teams that you don't get a chance to play.
Dang.
Assuming that we stick. So this is with a 12 playoff team bracket. Now it's possible we could make it a 10-team playoff bracket, and maybe you could possibly extend that to. Oh well, no, you can't. You would have to play. So in order to have even anything more than an 8-team playoff bracket, you would have to play 16 games this season.
Mm.
So that's going to be really interesting in terms of like, now more than likely what's going to happen is now I'm going to have to completely redo the schedule for the most part, just to include something like that. So, again, breaking news. I just checked it and updated the schedules because we were going through it. So, that's gonna make things very interesting in terms of like, number one, who it is that you play, and number two, player availability, going into the playoffs. So that's gonna be a conversation that we're gonna have again. But look, I'm pretty much gonna wrap it up here. I think we've kind of exhausted most of the topics that we could have.
One that you spitballed in the beginning was best rookie drafters. I don't know if you meant by picks or by rookies in the league.
That was gonna be my last one. Who all do you think in terms of rookies? Because we have 5 rookies this year that drafted the best. Who do you think the best rookie was?
Either Sam Brown or Devin.
Yeah, probably Devin. Probably the edge to Devin.
I enjoyed Devin. Just all his picks were super strategic, straight down the line. I want to see how Embiid does probably give Sam Brown the nod, but I love what Devin did with his team. So for a guy who doesn't talk much, I was really surprised about what he did. So I mean,
Daquan no slouch though.
Yeah,
Daquan
during the
slouch.
draft, I was real impressed with Daquan because he took a lot of guys I wanted. But looking at all in all, Sam Brown was the most impressive to me at the end.
For sure. So, counting down, we are about 10 days away
Oh yeah.
from the season starting. So, a week and 3 days. Again, I got Aaron Morris here, former champion, hopefully looking to run it back this year. We got
Gang,
Javaughn Hanna.
back, baby.
Aaron Morris of the Big Bird Ballers, of course, want to shout the name out. We got Javaughn Hanna here, a first-year flunky, looking to come out and make some noise here. The team of Capital City Go-Go, the Church. We got Sterling McKee here, another 2-year vet, coming off a solid rookie year of the She Fanatics.
You know, Order 66 will be executed. You feel me? We're gonna be playing the Imperial Banner when I win this championship. You feel me? Yes, sir.
For sure. We got
Safe and secure society.
We got Keshawn Simpson here of the Alpha Land Knicks, rookie of the year. Although some people have said, have made some controversy about that. Shout out Sam Hood, of course.
And we can't hear you.
And we we're looking to see if Keshawn's gonna come up big with the championship this year. We got Jake Rouse here of Grown Hugs and Larceny. Looking to make an even bigger splash this year in our fantasy season.
A little more dangerous this year.
Another regular in our podcast.
My nigga said the hug was a little aggressive.
Very, very aggressive, very lovingly at the same time in a weird way. And finally, we got Chris Hallager here of the Black Panthers, looking to hopefully still keep his team intact by week 6 or 7. Always great to have him on the show here with us. And I'm your commissioner, Ron J. Jones. And this has been super fun. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me. We're gonna have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks. And get your popcorn ready. And I'm really looking forward to having you guys all around again. And let's see who's gonna win that $400. And maybe we'll add something else in there. But I'll save that surprise for the long
The
run.
Brooklyn Kevin Durant jersey.
Glory.
Maybe something a little bigger than that, but yes, something that would be great as well.
You
if
said
win,
Patrick.
get it.
You said Patrice Williams jersey. I disagree.
Patrick Williams, man. That's
No, Patrice.
oh,
Name's
Patrice. We're going
Hey,
Patrice.
yo, Patrick Williams, if you ever watch this stream, bro, please shut this man up and let him know, bro, he is not allowed to cheer for you if you ever get good in the league, bro.
This has been absolutely great. A fun joyride. Been a heck of a day. But on that note, we will see you guys later, and happy holidays again. Stay safe. Hope you all are staying well and healthy. With that note, we're out.
Wow.
Peace.